Greetings and powerful day, Pipeline of Power Builder, community partners, and supporters. My name is Dr. Junichi Bomani. I am the Executive Director and founder of the Pipeline to Power Institute for Empowerment and Community Building, also known as the P2P Institute. I am excited and fired up for the opportunity to discuss and provide an overview of the P2P Institute, some of our scopes, our visions, our missions, some of the projects that we are engaged in for this year and beyond. All right, so our overview and mission for Pipeline of Power Institute, that we are a nonprofit research center focused on empowering Black youth and fostering community development that serves as the village and the social capital around those youth. By addressing economic, political, health, and social inequities, our mission allows us to create a lasting impact through our cutting-edge research, our impactful program development, thorough evaluation of programs, as well as influential policy support efforts that reconnect back into our mission of Black youth empowerment and community building. Our aim is to ensure that there is readiness in our stakeholders, especially our youth, as well as maximizing and intensifying opportunities that extend into future generations. Our service components at Pipeline of Power Institute is research and evaluation, program development, right? Not just program development for P2P Institute, but our program development service is for programs and entities and organizations who are implementing and developing programs that will engage Black youth and in our communities, being the assistance, being the support and consultant for programs to support their development of their programs so that they can reach the missions and the vision that they have for their programs. And also policy development, really delving into being a part of developing and implementing policies that support the mission of Black youth empowerment and community building. The Pipeline of Power Institute is constructed of labs, right? As we are doing our research, as we are engaging in real life community engaged work, we are also have developed labs that encompass the work of community engaged efforts as community engaged research, right? So it's made up of three distinct labs that kind of have a generational connection, right, as a pipeline. And you will see that in how these labs are connected, they are generationally connected to assure that there are no gaps in the development of our youth all the way through their full potential development into their adulthood stages, right? So the first lab that we have is the Young Power Lab, which is centered on youth in the younger phases of their lives. The second one is our CLIP Lab, which is our Community Leadership and Impact Policy Lab, which is more centered on our what we will perceive as young adults, older youth, right? Youth who are transitioning from high school, who have transitioned from high school, right? Going to the next phase of life into higher education or into or beyond into the world of work, careers, entrepreneurship that are moving beyond the K-12 phase and then into our adult phases, quote unquote, where we are able to engage Pipeline of Power build in our P2P Builders Lab. We have community stakeholders who are engaged in professional work, business, organizational development, community impact work, and being in position to help them to engage in reconnecting the resources that they are building as entrepreneurs, as professionals, back into the generations that are coming behind them and establishing programming that implements transitional impact into a future generation that's sustainable. So these three components make up our P2P Institute labs, and they have interconnection, which we want to talk about now. All right. So for 2024, we have a campaign that we are launching that is extremely important, and it is the Vision Building 10K campaign. For vision building, this is the concept of and it's a pivotal part of what we are engaged in doing in our work, is really unlocking and unleashing the vision in our youth in our community stakeholders to envision how we operate as a community, how our youth see themselves operating in their future, impacting their family, communities, and future generations through their natural genius, the ability to decode and understand who they are and how they want to utilize their natural genius, their abilities, their talents, right, to be in positions to impact the people that they love, right? So if they envision themselves becoming professionals, entrepreneurs in various areas, right, we want to clarify that vision through the programming that's happening in the collaborations that we have with other entities in doing programming that impacts youth, right? And we want this year, we want to be able to directly and indirectly engage 10,000 youth, right, in helping to build and clarify their vision so that they can utilize that vision to really guide their actions and decisions, right? So this year we are engaged in 10K campaign, and of course that's going to take a village. The vision building campaign takes a village to accomplish. That is a mission that seeks and depends on our ability to intensify the notion of collaboration in our community. The phase of the project that is extremely critical in collaboration is our Youth Empowerment Community Asset Mapping Project. This is important because this intensifies our understanding of the assets that we have in our community. So this goes into identifying organizations, business, and entities, right, which we call pipeline of power builders, community partners that can work collectively in order to intensify the impact and the engagement with Black youth, as well as, of course, our older youth in our different labs, right, through their areas of expertise, understanding what it is they have to offer, the resources that they have to offer, really understanding who we have and who we are able to connect with to strengthen our social capital for our youth, so that as we are assessing our programming, we understand how to fill each other's gaps, right? So we need to understand who we have access to in our communities and beyond, right? And this is not necessarily demographic. Of course, we are in the DFW area as a, that's where we're centered, but we are a national research center, so that entities that are in other areas of the country, we are definitely in position to engage them and connect our youth to those opportunities in other areas of the country and beyond, right? So this is an extremely important part of the vision and mission for the Pipeline of Power Institute, and is a current phase of our work at this time. All right, so looking at the different labs that we discussed, we have our P2P Builders Lab, which is focused on engaging those community entities that we've identified in our community asset mapping phase, right? Really engage them in thought leadership and partnership, right? And providing a community-based coaching environment that helps those entities and organizations, especially, really understanding how they can take their area of expertise and connect it to the youth and expose them to the opportunities that they have in their entity, in their organization, in their company. All right, so this lab is where we are able to do that work. All right, this includes weekly mastermind sessions, an opportunity for what we call warrior training, which increases the resiliency, that really brings us into a commonality of mindset through taking on various challenges, that strengthens us, because we know that this work is challenging, and we want to unlock and unleash that warrior in us that is going to take for us to be the most powerful village that we must be for the youth that we are engaging. Right, we want to from the Pipeline of Power Builders, we want to intensify the strategic support and resource access for these entities, for the organizations that are partners. Right, this fosters the ecosystem that we have in connection to our other labs, our Young Power labs, as well as our CLIP lab, because the Pipeline of Power Builders provide the resource, provide the opportunities to connect and expose our youth to, right? So we want to intensify the strength of our community through building the organizations and entities and stakeholders who are the social capital for our youth. All right, I talked about the weekly mastermind sessions that will be there for our Pipeline of Power Builder partners. All right, the warrior training, as well as we are culminating our Pipeline of Power Builders, which is going to be a first phase 6 to 8 week challenge or program that will culminate with our Black Community Reunion. In this Black Community Reunion, the Pipeline of Power Builders organizations, our community partners, as well as other community partners, will be able to come together and connect directly with our youth and our Clip Lab fellows, right, who will have the opportunity to serve as interns in those entities, right, which we'll talk about in our Clip Lab. So the Black Community Union is a culmination, is a connection of all of our entities, our assets, our communities, and really bringing together that energy of community in a set where it's not just us being together. Of course, there are going to be opportunities for social interaction, but also looking at how our vision for our community now connects together, and we can push forward as a collaborative unit of people that are on a mission to have the most powerful community that we must have, so that future generations can feel the impact of our current work. All right, so the Clip Lab is our for youth that have that are transitioning from high school, have transitioned from high school into the next phase of life. In that lab, it is a fellowship, right, that opens the door for youth to be interns in various industries that are included with our P2P Builders Lab. So for organizations and entities and companies that are in our P2P Builders Lab that are partners with the Pipeline of Power Institute, they open the door for internships into their particular entities in various industries for those youth, so that they can be engaged in learning about these different industries and doing in-field and in real time, real life work in those fields, right? So not only are we helping them to identify their vision as youth, but also connecting them immediately into opportunities where they can take that vision and they connect it directly into real life skills, right? And in-field work that are a part of entities that are engaged in the industries already, right? So this lab provides the opportunity for that. And also, of course, in a lab, we are doing research. We are assessing and evaluating, how they are experiencing their internships. All right, different inputs of those internships and how that experience is being guided. Right, we are as the institute itself, we are doing the research necessary to understand the input and assess that and compare that with the desired outcome. We want them to have the professional experience and exposure to the industry, as well as connect that to their notion of community leadership and how they are going to reconnect what they're learning into the next generation, which is our Young Power Lab. All right, so the Clip Lab is a phenomenal aspect that we want to be able to connect our youth into the next phase of life based on their vision, based on what they envision themselves becoming and how they want to impact their family, community, and future generations. All right. In connection with the Clip Lab, we have our Young Power Lab, which are our younger youth, right? In this lab, this is where we have phenomenal programming through collaboration with other entities, right, that allow them to be exposed to empowerment-based skills in various industries, right? So in various industries, we have youth that may not understand or even know that a lot of these opportunities exist. We want to amplify that through collaboration with entities that are engaged with youth, right? And utilize our community, our Pipeline of Power Builders Lab, right? Because these are the professionals, these are the experts in those fields, right? To expose these youth to those opportunities and build programming and systems that allow them to have consistent touch points and opportunities to learn more and more as they grow into the understanding of what is happening in these fields, right? So this happens through various aspects, such as our Young Power Warrior Camp series. In our Young Power Warrior Camp series, right, we have the opportunity to focus in on various empowerment skills in different industries, right, that allows them to engage the introductory understandings of those industries, as well as have consistent touch points in a pipeline system that allows them continue to learn and engage more and more skill-based learning in these fields, right? So we have the camp series as well as our year-round programming that becomes a system of learning and development for our youth, right? So we want them to develop technical and soft skills, leadership development, and all of these different things that it's going to take for them to maximize and optimize their pursuit in their vision towards becoming impactful in various areas that they have identified their interest in. And as you can see, our what we have going on now, our current Young Power Warrior camp is centered on sports media and sports management, right? Looking at various ways in which youth can engage areas of event management such as media, sports media, journalism. As you can see, we have youth on the screen that are activating or operating cameras. They're learning how to utilize videography, cinematography, photography, right? And looking at how that is important in building a narrative for our community, for who they are, right? As well as we are working with entities in a sports league right now, which is extremely exciting, right? Where they have the opportunity to engage the community. They have the opportunity to learn different functions that it takes to run a league, right, in that area. So those different skills that they are building allows them to get a different scope and perspective on how these professional situations or different organizations are run, not just as spectators, but from behind the scenes, right? And that's extremely important for us to, to engage and activate for our youth. And that's what Pipeline of Power Institute is centered on, in collaborating with entities to kind of go behind the scenes and allow our youth to engage that. And of course, as a research institute, we are providing a look at the inputs and how that's influencing the development of those youth. And we are developing the evidence for that input, that impact, and that influence on those youth. So we have some exciting things going on right now in the P2P Institute with a phenomenal collaborations with other entities, because it does not work without the collaboration, right? Our community does not grow, it does not build, it does not have the impact that it needs as a village to raise, cultivate, and protect the opportunities for our youth to reach their full power and potential without us being connected and collaborating. And that is the very essence of P2P Institute from our standpoint and our perspective. All right, so we are excited to really intensify the work of P2P Institute. All right, that is our overview scope of P2P Institute and the labs that we have. Once again, our Young Power Lab, that is our youth, that are moving towards the ending of their K-12, their evolution. We have our CLIP lab that is centered on youth who are transitioning from high school, who have transitioned from high school into higher education, into the world of work, into vocational trades, opportunities, as well as our pipeline to build P2P Builders Lab, which is our adults or our entities who are engaged in professional work, our Black-owned businesses, organizations, community-based entities who have opportunities for our youth to grow in various areas, who have resources that will allow our youth to reach their full potential, right? And making sure that they connect to our youth, right, in a seamless manner that fills every gap that our youth will fall in. Because as a pipeline, the materials of a pipeline must be strong to assure there is no seepage of the asset that our youth are, and but thus allowing them to flow in a natural way in their growth process from conception to from who they are now to who they were created to become. And that is the mission and the vision of Pipeline of Power Institute. So we are definitely looking for more support, right? The opportunity for entities such as yourself to provide not only support, but also be a part of the collaboration, spread the word, right? And pass this along to other entities, other people within your network that are really looking to intensify their positioning in Black youth empowerment, understanding where we are, as a community, the state of where we are with our youth, and really understanding it's going to take us. We want to spread that energy. We want to intensify collaboration in a way that there is no room for our youth to not reach their full potential. The cultural expectation becomes excellence in everything that they do, that they pursue it based on understanding how phenomenal they are. All right. So the opportunity for support from a research perspective is there, and we are looking for the opportunity to partner with you in every way. So thank you so much for your time, your consideration, and your diligence as a partner in this mission, in this movement. Right? We are the village, and we will continue to get stronger. Thank you so much again. Again, I'm Dr. Junichi Bomani, Executive Director and founder of Pipeline of Power Institute, and I am looking forward to connecting and collaborating with you in this mission. Let's go get it.